so strong that it made the whole world dribble like a tide. Imagine an earthquake which could open the earth across hundreds of kilometers, unleashing waves which can travel hundreds of kilometers faster than a jetliner. This is not out of a movie script. This is what happened yesterday when an earthquake of magnitude 8.3 struck the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. How did this earthquake in Russia cause tsunami warnings in Japan, Hawaii, Australia, North America? And most importantly, did someone predict this? Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Everything About the Change. Today we are going to be dealing with the anatomy of the 2025 quake which happened in Russia yesterday and the events following it. For all of us, the day began regularly yesterday, but the universal time 11:24 in the Pacific Ocean, tectonic plates which have been in a colossal struggle for over the last few centuries finally gave away. 134 kilometers off the coast of the petrolized Kamchatka region, situated in the earthquake-prone region of Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, the earthquake occurred. The magnitude of the earthquake in seismic scale was 8.8. To understand the magnitude of this earthquake, you have to understand that this was not a tremor. This was a violent shake of all the buildings in the Kamchatka region, which seemed to last for an eternity. The shake lasted for 3 to 4 minutes. The most important problem is this earthquake has awoke the ocean above it. This earthquake is the largest earthquake ever since the 2011 Quake earthquake in Japan, which resulted in a tsunami and the eventual Fukushima nuclear disaster. In fact, this was the largest earthquake recorded ever. To understand how these earthquakes occur, we need to understand the concept of tectonic plates. Tectonic plates are irregular, slab-shaped pieces of huge rocks which are making up the Earth's crust and mantle in between what's the lithosphere, above which lies the ocean floor or our ground, which we see in our eyes. These tectonic plates are a constant friction with one another. Imagine this area of the Pacific region is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. This Kamchatka Peninsula is the region where the tectonic plate, the Pacific Ocean tectonic plate, and the North American plate slide over each other. This phenomenon in geology is known as subduction. So when these two huge pieces of rocks are sliding over each other, it develops friction. Because of this friction, they lock. Because of this lock, they are in constant struggle with each other. This happens over a period of centuries. Imagine you are taking a spring and you are pushing it together like this. Finally, the spring will give away. This is what happened. As these tectonic plates are constantly fighting with each other, finally they gave away. The reverse fault line's size was around 20.7 kilometers, which caused the ocean floor to open up to 600 kilometers. This is the distance between Chennai to Tirunelveli or Mumbai to Nagpur. Imagine such a big fault line developing. Because of this fault line developing, the Earth's ocean floor rose by 30 meters. Because of all these disturbances, the water above it became unstable and a big tsunami was born. Could scientists have predicted this earthquake? Of course, scientists knew that this region in Kamchatka Peninsula was living on borrowed time, but they couldn't predict the exact date at which an earthquake will occur. To understand this, we need to understand the concept of fault line. Fault line is formed when two tectonic plates come together, as we see previously. This fault line in this region, let us imagine it like a zip. Now, in 1923, an earthquake happened which opened up the south portion of the zip. In 1952, another earthquake happened which opened up the north portion of the zip. Now, this main region of the zip remained unlocked, and scientists were thinking it will open up, but they didn't know when it will open up. Finally, yesterday, this middle portion of the zip also opened up, and the entire fault line is now open. Of course, nature has been giving us warnings. On July 20, an earthquake of magnitude 7.4 was there, which just showed us that another earthquake could happen, but they couldn't predict that an earthquake of magnitude this much will happen. Of course, a lot of earthquakes have been happening in the Kamchatka region in the recent past. This earthquake magnitude was 8.8. But what is more alarming is the aftershocks. The aftershock is the one which happens after the earthquake. These aftershocks have been recorded up to a magnitude of 6.9, and scientists warn that these aftershocks can happen up to weeks or months after this primary episode, leaving the people in the Kamchatka region perhaps than they already are. But how does the earthquake cause a tsunami? Let's understand the concept. Now, when the fault line opened up, it caused the ocean bed to crack around 600 kilometers, because of which the ocean bed rose by 30 meters. When there is a sudden shift in the height of the ocean bed, it will cause the water also to lift up. But the gravity of the earth will pull the water down, causing gallons of water to get displaced. Now, this water gets displaced at an enormous speed. The water in the entire top of the ocean starts traveling at a speed of about 800 kilometers per hour. When we see the wave starting at the point of the earthquake, the outer wave will be just 1 meter. But the inside entire depth, the water will be gushing with full force. But when a ship is going in the sea and the tsunami comes, nothing will happen because the wave will be 1 meter high only. So once near the land, this entire volume of water, which is traveling at 800 kilometers of time, is now getting resistance from the sea bed. But only the front line of the water gets resistance. The water which is coming behind does not get this resistance. When suddenly, as they reach the land, this water resistance increases. The water which is present behind this region of resistance starts to rise. This is called as swelling. And based on the amount of resistance and the speed in which the water is coming, the height of the wave is formed. And as we reach the land, the wave will be in the maximum height and it will hit the land, causing maximum destruction. So in this case, if these waves were reaching the land, people were bracing for a tsunami impact. The immediate impact was because of the earthquake in the Kamchatka Peninsula region, with people running to shelter. But as the waves start traveling, tsunami waves started directing it. Now, as they were directing it, they realized the areas at risk were Hawaii, Alaska, and Japan. As these waves were going, the were going around the Japan's entire coastline, Hawaiian area, and in Alaska. But luckily, when the waves reached these lands, they were only 2 feet high. Though there were strong currents in that region, the devastating memory of 2011 needed to be relived, as it did not create that much of an impact. But it just created fear in the minds of the people, thinking that will the 2011 tsunami effect will happen again. As the earthquake happened in this Kamchatka Peninsula region and the waves started traveling, which was being tracked by tsunami waves, something else happened in social media. Suddenly, one main thing in everybody's post, which was of real tragedy, a person who blurred the lines between science and prophecy. To know more about real tragedy, I have a video on her whose link is provided in the description below. Real Tatsuki is a Japanese manga artist who, in her book The Future I Saw in 1999, correctly predicted the Great Kobe earthquake as well as the earthquake which happened in 2011, which resulted in a tsunami with great destruction. In her book, she had told that in July 2025, another earthquake will happen between Japan and Philippines, which will cause a giant tsunami which is 3 times the size of that of the 2011 earthquake, and it will completely make Japan disappear in the face of the map. To know more about that, in 2011, her prediction was exactly accurate. She had told that in March 2011, a tsunami will strike in Japan, and exactly it happened. Now, with this prediction happening in July, everybody was waiting for July 2025 to come, and they were thinking that some earthquake will come. But as July was drawing to a close, everybody was saying that her prediction was false, and now what happened was no. But currently now, she has told that July 2025 an earthquake will happen, and a tsunami will come to Japan, and that has happened. But that is the only linking point which says that her predictions are correct. And what she had told that was the earthquake will happen between Japan and Philippines, but here it has happened in the Pacific Ring of Fire region, which is thousands of kilometers from where she predicted, and this is a region which is prone to earthquakes. Earthquakes don't happen only in the city. The earthquakes happen all the time. The second thing is she had told that the scale of the waves will be 3 times the height of that of the 2011 one. But here it is just a 2 feet high wave. Luckily it was that, and I'm happy that our predictions don't come true. Now, this gives us a point that though the date is accurate, the extent in which we told it will happen don't happen, and that is a good thing. So for us, let's speak scientifically that this was an event which was triggered by an earthquake due to a seismic activity in the Peninsula region, and a tsunami was supposed to come, but luckily it didn't happen in the scale in which it was imagined. If these events don't really match, how does this New technologies prediction can the attention of millions of people. This is basically has to do with the how humans think. We are actually pattern-seeking creatures. We like to have a sense of control over the chaos is happening. It is better that we can foresee the future and write a narrative and have a story than to understand that a mega earthquake can happen anytime. It can happen even now when I speak, and it can happen anywhere. But for people who are seeking a connection and who think real experience, they have one strong point that they she had told that July 2025 earthquake is happening. So people make more a story than what sociologists and science says. This narrative helps people gain a sense of control over a chaotic situation. So, in conclusion, we can conclude that this earthquake and the resultant tsunami, which happened yesterday, was just a scientific event, and there was nobody who can predict it. Of course, to have control over the situation, you can say that see, I told that the date of July 2025 is the one future tsunami will happen and it occurred. But it is better we rely on science to understand how the earth behaves to such that we can measure the force shocks and measure how after an earthquake a tsunami can travel such that enough people can be evacuated and we can save the lives of many. Do like for more interesting.